It's it it's Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. We've got your weird butter on top in Primate, Don't Have a Monkey as a Pet, and of course your drunk classic Munich, Don't Go to the Olympics. Let's go. Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. Quick apology to all those that lost lives at the Olympics. I apologize for that intro if you took any offense to it, but it is past the statute of limitations for comedy. Now, let's talk about your uncle's, mother's, brother's, sister's, doggy's favorite movie podcast. This is Popcorn and Beers. Welcome back, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs, and we use the stuff that gets you drunk. That was a good pop. I got a good pop that time. I'm proud of myself. Sometimes you gotta give yourself credit, you know? You gotta give yourself a little credit. It's weird because usually I could throw to one of you to filibuster as I prepare myself to talk about this week's Butter on Top, but it's just not possible this week because I was the only one that made it to sit through the horror Primate. Now let me just start with where this movie missed the bar. This movie missed on, this could have been a great horror comedy. And it took itself so seriously, which made it even funnier in a way, because it's like, come on. Do you not understand how hilarious this concept is? Like, this is pretty funny. Like, you got a monkey, your mom dies that communicates with the monkey, and the monkey gets rabies and murders you and all your friends. It's just, you know everything that's going to happen. It's just set up. There's no, it's all cliche and all trope, the whole movie, okay, in Primate. And it is the worst monkey you have seen since Dunstan checks in. All right? It is,
you know, you say a new sentence every day, and that was yours.
It was so rough to watch. But here's the funny thing, everyone. My movie theater was packed with teenagers, like fresh out of school, and like, well, it's Saturday, but they're fresh out, they're all out with their friends, and it was packed, and they were into it. Like, they were into it. They're like, oh my God, jumping and stuff, and they're like, oh, what's gonna happen? And I'm like, are we for real? Like, come on. Like, no. Like, and I felt so bad, because here I am, almost 40-year-old guy, upper left-hand corner of the theater, because that's like my spot. I like to like crow's nest it, and I am laughing hysterically at almost every death. Like, and I'm trying to like,
good for you.
I'm trying to muffle it, you know, when you're trying to muffle, but it was so funny. Spoiler alert! Woo, woo, woo! I'm just gonna give out one death. I don't want to give out the whole plot, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a review. Okay, at one point, a young teenage man, while in a swimming pool, thinks he's going to push a chimp off of a wall. How do you see this going, buddy? What? They're 10 times stronger than you on land. Half your body's in the water, and it's the strongest half of your body. How's this gonna go, big guy? It goes exactly how you would think. But anyway, college girls come back home to their rich daddy's house on vacation. What? They have an odd pet because their mother, who has tragically passed, is animal linguistics, and she thinks we could talk to the animals. What else should we throw in here? Hot guys get on the plane, and we gotta hook up with them later. Why? Because we need more people to kill. It's funny because I'm sitting here like, no one acts like this in real life. They can't. Like, this has to be like Hollywood's portrayal of what they think like freshmen in college act like. You know what I'm saying? Like, this can't be seriously how humans act now. It just can't. There's like weird, like, they just walk into a house. Like, people just walk into someone's house in America. Let's just talk about the landscape of what happens when you walk into someone's house in America in 2025, 2026. Yeah. Then just like, yeah, it's a total normal behavior to grab people's pictures and just throw them on the ground when you're done looking at them. Like, Of course, that's what people do. It was effortlessly hilarious. Primate is such a popcorn movie with terrible CGI, awful acting, terrible dialogue that you can't help but just like, you know what? Let me sink into this because this is too much not to enjoy. And you've got everything from Big Booty Judy running around. You've got big never mind Tammy. You get it? You get where I was going with this. And then of course you've got Six Pack Chad walking around the house. And you know what? They're all gonna die. Dun dun dun. It has some Old Yeller mixed in. Just if you were wondering, there's a little Old Yeller here. Like, let's give him a little Old Yeller, make him cry a little bit. I didn't cry. I laughed hysterically because the monkey, when the monkey is finally at its apex, let's just say you could tell a 5'11" person in a suit when you see one. Okay. It's like,
that's great.
It's a chimp. I've never seen a chimp that tall before, but all right. So we're going to give this one a popcorn, and we are going to move on to what we have all seen.
I can't wait for Primate 2, Bubbles' Revenge.
Bubbles' Revenge.
And then, of course, Primate 3 is going to be the rise of Harambe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Primate 3, primating. Anyway, let's get to Munich. Josh threw it in front of us. Jordan watched it for the very first time. Let's start with you, Jordan. First impressions.
This has been on my list for a long time. It's a story that I've been aware of for a long time, being like a history guy and all of that. And so yeah, it's been on my list, and I've been I kind of knew the details of it before I actually watched it. These guys, man, these spies, and I know that's the whole thing is they're kind of unknowns and they're unpolished, but they're pretty sloppy as spies.
Yeah.
You know, it's a spy film. Surrounding the
meanwhile being told they're so great at every turn.
Yeah. What is this? The 70s, right? The Munich Olympic Games in Munich, Germany.
1972.
Yep.
Some Arab and Palestinian, if you will, terrorists. I don't know how we navigate that whole thing in today's climate. And then the Israeli Olympic wrestling team, as well as some coaches and some other athletes, they are taken hostage. Right? This is a true historical story based on fact. There's a lot of good conversations in this. It's a long movie, so you're in for a bit of a sit. But honestly, it's meaty. It's meaty. The dialogue is juicy. Like once you're into this,
he's not just talking about Eric Bana.
Once you're into this, and Eric Bana as a Israeli guy, I was like, about that.
Oh, it was him and not Daniel Craig?
Yeah, I mean him too as well. Yeah, yeah.
And
Both.
was that other guy the Latin lover? Was that the Latin lover guy?
Eugenio
The bomb
Derbez?
maker?
I don't think so. Was it?
It looked like him. It looked like him hardcore. I was like, is that this dude that we just watched?
No, it was not.
In
it was
Lupita
not.
Nyong'o? Okay.
It was not. But yeah, so the conversation between Eric Bana's character and the Palestinian guy on the stairs, and that was a confusing scene in general.
Yeah,
the safe house thing. So the Frenchman, he sent deliberately. Did he send these Palestinian PLO, right? Palestinian Liberation Organization. Did he send them to the same safe room to have this weird confrontation on purpose?
I don't know. Actually, now that you mention it, because they never address it.
Yeah, Josh, they did never address that again. I agree. But they don't really have an opportunity to address it because murder happens.
Murder.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the beautiful thing, not to step on your review or anything, but like there's a lot of aspects to this movie, but that's one of them where like these are two people who are obviously not friends. They have to become friends because they live in the same area. They make a compromise on the radio and they become okay with it. They shake a hand or whatever, metaphorically speaking. And then tomorrow they're at war. You know,
Well,
that's
'cause,
part
yeah,
of the conversation.
they're both in business, right? With this guy who they can't violate. It's a safe house, right? And there
Right.
are rules involved with that in doing
Yeah.
business. Um, Daniel Craig and the younger glasses guy, right? There's two guys with glasses. The younger one,
Old
arguing about,
glasses and young glasses.
yeah, right. That's how I remember them. Um, Arguing about the collateral damage and the laws and all of that. That whole scene was
Yeah.
great, right? Who are
Yeah.
we? What have we become, right? We're supposed to. And then the
Yeah.
bomb maker has a similar scene, right? Guy, he's
Yeah.
talking about what have we become? You know, yes, we are persecuted around the world, but like we're the chosen people, and we're supposed to bear and be righteous and all of that, right? It's interesting stuff. The conflict, right? The conflict, especially like how in today's political climate, watching it, like the
Yeah.
internal conflict of these guys, whether to be blindly sort of just following, right, these orders and this thing, and just seeing. Yeah, it's a lot. It's awesome. It's really good watch. And then the end of the movie where he's banging and he's all sweaty and stuff, and he's flipping his hair around going, ah. And then and then all of a sudden it like flashes to where he's just totally like not just normal.
Yeah.
Like what,
Yeah.
what was that? That was really odd. But this
Before
was
you mobbed into the production meeting, Jordan, that was the first thing I thanked Josh for, was allowing us to end the movie with Eric Bana climaxing.
yeah.
Yeah. While thinking about a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
So I give Munich a popcorn and one, two popcorn and two. I'll creep it into a popcorn and two.
Yeah, pop two.
Yeah, it's an interesting take. Outside of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and all that historical backdrop, it's an interesting spy take on just you see the paranoia that can come out of being a spy and the business aspect of
Yeah.
being a spy. Was interesting.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel that.
absolutely. Josh, very relevant to today's society still, sadly. What gave you a hankering for a bannering?
You know, it was just that Eric Bana got mentioned, honestly. I was like, oh, yeah, Munich.
Okay.
That was on my list from a while back. And I was like, yeah, let's just pull that one in there. Honestly, for me, it was just one of those where, it was organic, where, everyone's in the living room. We see the DVD rack, and then someone's like, you guys see Munich? Just watch Munich. Whatever. That's really how it felt to me. But sort of timely. Not exactly like when the movie started. I'm like, oh no, this is Israeli propaganda. But then it's not. So I was worried at first, but then the movie evens out in a sense, because technically the good guys are the state of Israel, the Mossad or whatever, but. The whole movie is just a conversation about the whole situation, like how much violence is too much violence, where's the line, who's in the right, who's in the wrong, what's really important here, what are we even doing? Like what resonated for me was Eric Bana's character. In the end, he's like, what did I even make a difference? Like, what was all that for? And that's something I've dealt with, and I have nothing even close to that sort of military service, but being in the military and whatever I had to go through, which was light in comparison, I still dealt with what was the point of that? What did I even do?
Look at Josh trying to cover up that he almost revealed that he was a double agent. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Or I used to work for Russia, just a little bit. Anyway, I do like it how it is a nice look at what's probably the realism of what most of spies are. Like you're not a 007. You don't have these magical trinkets and stuff. You got a guy that knows how to use C4 kinda. You got a guy who sort of knows how to find people. You got a guy who has held a gun once upon a time. You know what I mean? Like these are just people that
the guy that does the C4 is funny. Remember the line? I was taught how to make robots. They asked me if I could use this to make bombs, and I said I'll try.
Yeah. And it's I'm positive on both sides of the good and the bad guys. That's pretty much everybody. Like those assholes that hit the towers, they took a course and that was it. Anyway,
Computer-based training.
Yeah, I mean, ragtag, all of it's ragtag. But anyway, that's not the point. It was just a nice look at, how dirty the dirty part of it gets. And I love how, like, there's a bunch of assassinations, and each one is a moral question or a philosophical question. Like, one of them is, there's a kid involved, what do you do? And one of them is this, what do you do?
Yeah.
One of them is that. The bomb was too much bomb, and all of it is just really interesting. Yeah, the movie drags. Well, no, the movie's very long, but for me, it was meaty in a sense of like.
Did they have to put
just when
prosthetic balls on the guy that was in the room with his girlfriend when the bomb goes off? Like, was that a necessary touch to make sure he had some prosthetic balls that we could see in between his legs?
Yeah, I saw
the scene when the bomb was too big.
I saw two penises in this movie.
The bomb was too large. And the only thing that stood out to me was like that guy's prosthetic balls. Like they were so large, they were just smacking his thighs as he's like, no, I'm good, and he's got the towel, the washcloth over the penis. But then he turns around, you just got prosthetic balls slapping his ass cheeks. What was that?
Oh, yeah.
I like the movie. It was not what I remember it to be. It wasn't over the top incredible like I remember. Like Spielberg, you're known for having a great shot. You're known for having a great action. But it was good. It was good all around. It had good tone and good pacing, even though it was long. But I like overall what stands out for the whole movie, what makes it last and become timeless in a sense, is the conversation, which is ongoing today. It's still a timely movie because of the conversation. It's not these guys are good, those guys are bad. It's, what does having a home really mean? And what would you do for it? And like the mother, when she's like, I don't care what you did. It was enough. It was worth it. All this and that. Like that makes you feel dirty. It hurts.
The different generation kind of
different generation. Yeah, you're doing this for your grandfather and his grandfather and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, it hurts. It's such a weight. The movie is a weight on your chest. And so I give it a popcorn 1, close to a 2, but it's a popcorn 1 overall.
Popcorn 1. Don't sleep with the dame from Amsterdam. Right? We all learned that.
That was odd. That was odd. He's like, the old guy's like, no, leave it open so you can see her murking. And then, and then like a few hours later, he's like, why don't you guys let me do that? Stop me from doing that. That was a bit too far. You guys should have stopped me.
It was another look at barbarism versus civility and like how far we go and then regret.
Did he kill
and blah,
himself?
No, he got stabbed in the park. No, I think he got stabbed.
I was convinced he killed himself.
They were pretty convinced that the dude they were going to for names was selling their names to the other side at the same time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so with her also, let's take a look back. One, it's funny that you said like the barbarism, things like that. I was like, no, man. He wants her to be discovered the way that they had to discover their friend. She left their friend naked on the bed with no clothes on. They're dead.
Yeah. Good for the goose and the gander and shit.
Yeah, like I thought that's what he was doing. No, you left off.
Well,
you gave our friend no respect, so why should we give you respect?
Right.
Like you don't get any
James
respect.
Bond would have handled business on that scene where they are in her. That would have went differently in James Bond movie.
What's funny is Eric Bana calls it, right? He said it's a honeypot. You won't want to miss it. And he still tries to hit it and still gets taken out, right? So that was interesting. And I was kind of like, I don't know. This is one of those films that was great when you watch it initially. Like, you're like, wow, this is phenomenal. What a great work of cinema. And then you watch it 20 years later, because this is 20 years later, and you're like, wow, he really jacked up a lot of shots. Because, and I started to think, I was like, maybe Spielberg was really emotional in making this film. Like maybe that led to a lot of the missteps that existed because there's a lot of editing errors. For instance,
there's a lot of weird jumps. Yeah,
and it was nominated for best editing. And I was like, I don't know how, because when they walk away from the dead woman, right when they left her robe open, she clearly takes a deep breath, like clearly her stomach goes, and you know what? If they had robed her, you could have hit that. But I was like, there goes her belly. And it was like she was shot in the head. Okay.
You're dead.
like clearly takes a deep breath. There's some fun stuff with the weaponry that occurs, but overall, like the message is sound, right? It's we're so sloppy, and we become better at this as we move along. It's a perfect example of what occurs when you live in the past. Is really what I saw. Yeah, what is a home? Is what Josh saw. I saw this. This is what happens when you live in the past, and you pass that dangerous past down to your heirs. And no matter what they do, this circle of violence continues because you've created a disgusting circle of violence and war where terrible men are allowed to create legacies on the backs of those that are poor and believe in this. Remember, you can't go back in time and change anything that's happened. And this is full circle because you go all the way, oh, well, now the Israelis are persecuting the Arabs. Well, guess what the Egyptians did, guys? Let's just start there. All right. And it just keeps going. So both sides have an argument, and if we decide to continue to live in that past where, you know, Cleopatra had your daddy's daddy building a pyramid, then guess what? We're never going to get past it. It's just not going to happen. And if you keep fighting over this is our land, this land is not your land, instead of this land is my land, this land is your land, then guess what? We're stuck here. We're at war forever. Vengeance doesn't always yield the results that you want, and we see that in this. It leads to a lot of PTSD, and the people in power who do not have to actually pull the trigger get to sit comfortably in their chairs, in their office, having no idea who the people on the front lines are, as exemplified by when he bursts into the Israeli embassy in New York, and the guy running the Israeli embassy has no idea who he even is. So... popcorn and 1 for me on the rewatch, popcorn and 3 for me on the original. If you had gotten to see this in 2006, to quote to quote Seth Rogen in Knocked Up, Munich is 3 hours of Eric Bana kicking ass.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Let's get back to what we were watching this week. Josh, why don't you kick us off?
Oh, okay. We're going to do one that I forgot to do last week, which was a leftover from Christmas. It's kind of a Christmas movie. Sorry, show. Netflix style. Man versus Baby. It's Sir Rowan Atkinson. You might know him as Mr. Bean. And some baby, right? So I guess this is a series or a situation where there's another one called Man versus Bee. And I think there's more. But it's like a 4-episode mini-series, and Man versus Baby is Mr. Bean, through circumstance, has this baby he has to take care of, and he has to take care of this household, which is an uber, like 1% rich household, penthouse suite in London. And so he's got to, like, upkeep this perfect household and do everything just right. And there's, things get harder and harder. There's more and more circumstance. And of course, and he's got to take care of this baby. The baby's pooping everywhere and, blah, 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 blah. And it's Mr. Bean being Mr. Bean. It's basically a one-man show. There's other characters in it, of course, but it's all him. And, it's, if you like that sort of thing, if you like Mr. Bean, you'll like this. It's fun. There's, of course, it takes place during Christmas, but that's not really the point. It's just kind of a backdrop. I mean, there is Christmas elements, but it's really about watching Mr. Bean have a hard time. And I'm sure that's what with the baby. I'm sure that's what Man versus Bee is too. I'll check that out when I can. Also on Netflix. Yeah, that's a 4-episode series. And I think the character is a house sitter. That's his job. So this will be a new house with a bee involved. Sounds great. The popcorn one, it was fun.
Jordan, what were you watching?
Well, I kept the Munich topic train rolling, and I watched something from 2024 called September 5 or September 5th. I don't know. This is about the Skeleton Crew CBS sports news team that was on, on standby as this event unfolded. And they were actually the first ones to get this story on live television worldwide, right?
Whoa.
And they also say that this was the first terrorist act that was caught on live TV, on live camera,
oh, wow.
right?
That's interesting.
It's led by a guy that's been in. He's in one of my favorite movies, a former classic. What the hell is it called? It's one of my favorite movies, Overlord, the zombie Nazi movie.
Oh,
He's one of the the loudmouth guy in that one. It just shows you how the bacon is made. It's very technical, like how they did things in the 70s, how a news crew put things together, and it is cool to see. It's super odd. You're just like, oh my God, that is something so simple and it's so difficult for them.
I just imagine like some guy just like a bunch of film tape.
Well, they're trained professionals, so like they're pretty efficient, but still there's like a lot of odd stuff that they do. Like, for example, they got to get
It's the first time it's ever been captured on camera. It's the first time for all of us.
You do have Brian Jennings, right, who was a correspondent of like, in Vietnam and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so he's the one that kind of is the guy that's, their correspondent in the field. He gets out there and he's like talking through what's happening. And he's kind of telling them like, look, you guys are a sports crew. You're in over your head, but I can help you. Like, narrate this and keep us, because I'm used to this stuff. For example, they need to get photography, right? Some still images, some B-roll type stuff. And so they, cameras are really big and heavy, like studio cameras, good cameras. So they send a guy out and he's got to use like an actual video camera, but he needs to carry these big film canisters. So they shut down the Olympic Village when this takes place. They shut down the Olympic Village and nobody can get in or out except athletes. So they just put a USA jacket on this guy. Quickly, it seems in what seems like 5 minutes, they slap together a sports, an athlete ID, like a badge, security badge.
Put him in a windbreaker.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. And he happens to be, a believable athlete, complexion wise. And yeah, they send him in there and I'm like, this is the problem. This is why this event happened, because the security is so lax. Like, I get it. It's the 70s. Like, you could just walk right up to airport gates, airplane gates. But like,
ooh, shout out to it. That was almost a drink link to one of our first drunk classics in Plane, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
It just runs right up to the gate.
Yeah. And it's just crazy. Like, you get a lot of the little backstory that, like, things that you hear in Munich, like they're allowing the Olympic Games to continue. They don't even care, and they stop them. Yeah. They do eventually stop them for like a half a day. And then the next day they're like, all right, business as usual. You do get
like, they stop them, story. For a moment of silence.
Yeah.
They keep going.
That's terrible.
You get a story of David Berger, who's an interesting story. That is kind of, they don't really talk about in Munich, of course, but he was an American, actually, and he did not make the USA Olympic wrestling team, so he immigrated to Israel. He has Jewish background. His family's Jewish and all that. They live in, like, I don't know, Massachusetts or something. And anyways, he immigrates so that he could be in the Olympics, and he ends up caught up in this and tragically dying, right?
Wow.
And it's kind of grimy, because that's what the CBS guys really are like. Oh, we got an American. Like, this is really going to drive the story. Like, now America cares, kind of thing. And yeah, but this was it was an interesting movie. It's only an hour and a half. It's really quick. It's a good companion film to watch. Like, that's I don't know if this is something that would have, like, I really would have been interested in. Like, it wouldn't have felt all that meaty if I hadn't just watched Munich. But so on its own, I don't know how well it holds up. But this was like a popcorn and one.
Do you feel like the journalism aspect of it, how do you think it held up against, like, say, like Civil War? Was it similar vibes with the attitudes of the journalists, or?
No, there's the producer guy that's like, I don't care if somebody gets shot live on TV, and then he's kind of like the devil on the shoulder of this other unexperienced little under producer guy. He's calling the shots, and he's got one guy executive on his shoulder, like, I don't care if somebody gets shot. Yeah. And then you got the other guy, the other executive on his shoulder going, we have a responsibility. We need to double check our facts. We need this and that. And so it's kind of he's conflicted. It's interesting aspects.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about my first film I saw in my triple feature that had Primate sandwiched right in the middle of it. This was a day ruiner. So talk about watching this at the very beginning of a triple feature when you're going to be at the theater all day. By the way, strong popcorn and two. This film is not for everyone. If I had legs, I would kick you. I think most people, if I'm being real with you, you probably shouldn't watch it. It's a really tough watch just because of the situations are so heavy, right? The I can't think of the word I want to use here, but situations is fine, I guess. There's a better word for that, but the storylines are just really heavy and it's rough. It starts with so it stars Rose Byron primarily, and then you've got ASAP Rocky and Conan mixed in. Okay,
Conan
and
O'Brien?
Conan O'Brien.
Oh.
Just he plays this total like jerk of a therapist, like someone that you watch and you're like, this guy should probably not be a therapist. But then of course you look and you're like, but she's not exactly making his life easy. But is it her job to make her therapist's life easy? And there's some other twists and turns there. The opening scene, just the dialogue, there's a scene with a pizza, there's a scene with a ceiling in an apartment, and it just throws so much at the viewer, like immediately. And the little girl's voice is grating. It's oh my God, it's a lot. And really what it is it's the director trying to show you through the lens of this mother, like what she is going through. And they are, I wouldn't say it's heavy-handed. It's probably like spot on. Like they probably got a lot of consulting on this, and it's probably spot on because the husband not around, and you find out why he's not around like later on, but like he's not even helpful in the least. And it's just like a lot for the viewer to handle, like immediately right out of the gate. You're like, Jesus, holy shit. Like right away, like it's a lot for you to take. And Rose Byron, she deserves her Oscar nom because she's going to get nominated for an Oscar for this. She deserves it. And even the finale of the film, you're kind of like, Jesus, is this really like what some mothers are going through? And you feel for them. Like you feel for her at the end. And the end is so intensely heavy that you're just like, wow. It's like, Jesus. The movie is a tough watch for anyone with some form of empathy. There is a hamster that gets killed. So we're going to go ahead and spoiler alert that and let you guys know that it is going to happen. And you see it happening. Like you see it coming. And then it happens. And you're like, oh, there it is.
Okay, but like, isn't that like every time you see a hamster in real life, you're like, you got about a week. Like that's just how hamsters, they die. That's their thing.
They die.
Yeah, it's a lot, and then there's not a single character within the film that's like, I like this person. Not even Rose Byron. Like you every single character, you're like, oh my goodness gracious, like God, is this really what the world is filled with? Just these awful human beings, like all over the place. Like Jesus, it's like a let me steal your hope. This perspective of a mother with a sick child, and like the themes, man. Like, so the child, for perspective, her child has some form of like anorexia or bulimia at the age of like 5. Like, and she won't eat food because of the texture. And she's going through all this like by herself, like because like I said, the father she's married, like he's in the picture, but he's not around, and they kind of show you why at the very end. And I reward that choice with a great rating with the popcorn and two. I thought the direction and the writing of that, I thought that was quality. There's fantastic choices made in that where you're not seeing the daughter, you're not seeing the husband, you're not really seeing anyone that's not tied to her directly throughout this film, or the individuals that are making life a little bit more difficult. And I hate to say that about a child, but that's what's happening for this mother. You're really focused on the characters and the mother. The director does not want to steal focus. The writer does not want to steal focus from what the audience should be focused on, which is her. Okay, and you stay on her, and that's why she's well deserving of this Oscar nom. what's going on in this is tough, and it's interesting as you see it impact the mother's dreams and the causation of these ill feelings towards your spouse, these ill feelings towards your child, and what can create them, and really like, hey, can you really blame these individuals for having these feelings, because these are the items that cause these feelings. And it's an interesting perspective, though hard to watch. If you don't have a child between the ages of infant to 5, you might be able to get away with it. If you do, this is one of the hardest films to watch that I've had in a long time. And it's If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You, starring Rose Byrne, A$AP Rocky. Hey, A$AP, acting chops, not bad. Even though you're only in the film for a short amount of time, not terrible. We're gonna give it a popcorn and 2, and it's A24, so it was gonna be a good film. You know, like they built a strong reputation. Anyway, Josh, what else were you
Can't wait
watching?
for the sequel. If I had arms, I'd hit you. Oh.
He had it shamed us. Well, I watched on Netflix I caught up with you guys and caught that the new Knives Out. Wake up, dead man. Knives Out 3. Yeah!
Wake up. Llama, wake up.
Yeah, so this is another whodunit murder mystery starring Daniel Craig with his whatever that accent is, and I think it's not an Alabama accent. I think it's I'm rich and just having fun accent.
Tough. It must be tough for somebody from Louisiana to listen to somebody screw up a Louisiana accent.
Yeah, is that what he's trying to go for? Is Louisiana?
I don't know. When I hear when I think of Louisiana accent, I think of remember the
Well, Louisiana has a few different accents, and none of those were Daniel Craig's. Anyway, that's all right. It's whatever. It wasn't that distracting because you don't see as much Daniel Craig as you do in the other movies. You notice that? He's not the main guy. The priest is the main guy, which is a nice little, not nice, I don't know. It was an interesting turn, I guess. This is one of those where, are you sick of the same whodunit over and over and over? They did this in the first, or I'm sorry, in the second one where like, okay, we had the whodunit, we solved that part. Now let's get to the real mystery. It's a mystery on mystery on mystery. You know what I mean? So, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. It was entertaining. Kind of. And,
Racks on racks on racks.
I'll defy you here, Fry. I guess the killer. Like
Okay.
First, like as soon as I saw them, I'm like, yep. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Did you screenshot on your phone the time you selected that killer?
No.
Yeah, so I don't believe you. I don't believe either of you.
Spoil it.
I did watch it with my mother though, and I said her. Oh,
Yeah.
I spoiled it halfway.
No,
Anyway.
that's fine.
Yeah, I think in this one the killer was pretty obvious. I side with you guys, but really my main point in that rant was like, shut up.
Yeah, because what's important here is okay, like you guessed, but you like for me, I sort of pulled it out of my ass. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have all the connections. That's the part that's
Right,
fun.
no,
It's
yeah,
all this and that. Like that's the fun part. It's not like
how do we get there? Yeah.
So that was great. I liked all the characters. I thought it was fun. This was extremely over the top. I think more over the top than the second Knives Out, which was way up there. But it was fun. It was interesting. It had some cool political things or socio things. I don't know. As a former believer who is very anti-religious, I liked the message. I liked the guy who was like, let's just show love. This had an opportunity to spit in the face of organized religion, spit in the face of Christianity in general. It didn't do that. It put a bad mirror on the bad people, but in the end, it put a good light on the real idea behind a lot of religions, which is, we should be showing love. And I really appreciated that because, we don't need to be shitting on everything all the time. You know what I mean?
If it makes
it's
you
good.
a good person and you're not hurting anybody, I don't have an issue with it.
Right.
If it makes you a terrible, shitty person, that's where issues start to arise.
If you're using it for selfish means or evil means, yeah. But the main character, the priest, who he couldn't have been him. So let's just get that out of the way. He didn't do it. A good symbol of hope throughout the movie, and it was cool. But yeah, comical in ways, stupid in ways, kind of ridiculous, but it was fun. Way too long though. Way too long. Popcorn in one.
What do you think Kerry Washington is going to become the new Viola Davis?
That's a weird take.
No, the crying, the sobbing that Viola Davis has always been amazing at, where Viola Davis can get that good sob, where she's got like the snot and the tears running down. Like Carrie's kind of got that going on lately.
Yeah, but Carrie's been there, I think.
You think?
Ever since Scandal, yeah, she's been there, dog.
Scandal.
Okay, I think Viola's kind of got like the standard on that.
Well,
but if you're gonna tell me Carrie's
Viola
with her.
is like, Big Papa Pump, and I get that. But yeah, move over, Viola Davis. There's a new black girl. Why can't they both?
I wasn't saying it in those terms. They just happen to be the two best at it. I'm sorry, the two best people were black, Josh. I apologize.
We got a new black one.
Anyway, Josh has to go, but we promise you every year to give you our top 3 Butter on Tops or top 3 films of last year, 2025. And this year, Josh has thrown a little tweak into it. He wants us to give you our top 3 drunk classics. So, Josh, since we're losing you, why don't you give us your top 3?
For the drunk classic, I was just saying pick one. I don't have 3 for you. But
Okay,
one that you didn't pick that was not yours. All right. So top 3 for me last year, I'm going with Mickey 17. I thought that was really great. Really great. Very rewatchable. And then Thunderbolts, because, Marvel's been having a tough time, and I'm liking Thunderbolts, and I like that direction. I hope we keep it up. But hands down, no question, I will fight. I'll quit the show if you guys don't agree with me. It's Sinners, dude.
Yeah.
Sinners is movie of the year.
Unanimous. It's going to win Best Picture. Yeah.
It's
Not.
movie
One
of
battle
the
after
year.
another is going to win Best Picture.
I don't think it's going to win Best Picture.
It's a good movie, but
Excuse
I
me.
don't think so. Sinners was...
I hope it wins Best Picture, but I don't think it will. But it is best movie. If you haven't seen Sinners yet, please go for it, dude. It's so entertaining and so beautiful, so well written. Blah 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 blah. As for drunk classics, let's just pick the one that you didn't choose, one of your co-hosts chose, that you think is just really fun and great. And for me, I lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, The Raid. The Raid was entertaining AF. I loved it. And I'm definitely going to be rewatching that. It's going on my list now. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Now you can bounce like a Super Bowl. Let me get to my review of Mercy, starring Chris Pratt. All you commoners will have to wait for this to hit your theaters. It is not out yet for you to watch. Quick review of what I actually wrote, and then I'll tell you a little bit of my own personal thoughts after my review. A world where AI determines your guilt and starts off the trial by deciding that you are guilty until proven innocent, and it is your job to work down your guilt probability to save your own life. Look, this movie took a long time to get me in because it does a lot of the War of the Worlds stuff from earlier this year starring Ice Cube, where you're constantly viewing the perspective in the film through people's phones and through cameras like the Ring camera, which, by the way, Amazon, stop using your movies as giant commercials. It's annoying, and we all know what you're doing. You're not creative. We're familiar with your game. Anyway, it takes you out of the movie, but in the third act, yes, the third act, the movie actually kind of sucked me in. Like it starts to suck me in as it takes on a new style of whodunit, and the extent that it worked was going to give the audience like a good entertaining film. Like the way that they dive into the whodunit, you're like, wow, okay, this is actually kind of entertaining. And yes, you may figure it out. Like, who cares? I don't believe any of you, but you may figure it out, and good for you. But make sure you take a picture of the time you said it and the time it is on the DVD. And I want to see your screenshot on your phone, the newspaper from that day, and the screen. 'Cause they don't believe you. I'm just being honest. I don't believe you. Everybody always says, "Oh, I knew that." Okay, whatever, TikTok watcher. You knew everything. Anyway, it was an interesting movie where there's a lot of emotions going on. Terrible acting from Chris Pratt, just like literally awful, but at the same time entertaining in how bad it was. And that's not just the scenes in which he's not on a Ring camera. Like, that's also, it's just bad even through the Ring camera. It's bad through the cell phone cameras. It's just not good acting in the movie, but it is fun. Like, I think they're trying really hard to make it like, hey, this is your everyday thing that could happen in the future. This world is a world that's now been quarantined in danger zones. So now there are zones that are quarantined as high danger, and you have to have like a pass to enter these danger zones, because we now live in a country that's become so devolved into a crime-ridden landscape that they have to do this in order to keep your normal people, your good people, safe. And that was just like, okay, cool, been here. I know this trope. And it progresses. I found it interesting. I did find it thought-provoking. There's a lot of spin on, hey, AI can screw up. AI has to learn still. AI sources its knowledge from the internet. So AI is prone to make mistakes, just so we're all aware. All of these AIs now that we were all using when they first came out, Gemini, Copilot, and ChatGPT,
Iverson.
they all post warnings. Go ahead.
Iverson.
Yeah, okay. I've never even heard that one.
Allen Iverson.
Oh, the answer.
Making a bad joke.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, they all now have to post warnings like, yo, this is not fully accurate information, or double check your sources, all that stuff. I'm going to give Mercy a popcorn and one, because it did suck me in. Like, I hate to admit it, everyone. And the truth is, just like with Primate, Jordan, people were leaving going, wow, that was a really good movie. Wow, that was really entertaining. And I'm just like, maybe I'm jaded because we do this show now and we look at so many different things. We look at writing, we look at dialogue, we look at direction, we look at editing, we look at special effects. And I might be jaded now because I'm like looking at all these things so I can give a quality review to people. But sometimes a film just brings awesome to the box office, and that might be what Mercy has done. And you know what? For teenagers, that might be what Primate did. So anyway, popcorn and one for Chris Pratt's Mercy. Jordan?
I watched a former Butter on Top called Caught Stealing, starring Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz and Liev Schreiber and a big cast. It's a Darren Aronofsky film, which, you know, he usually draws a pretty good ensemble of actors.
It's different though, right? This is like different from what you're used to from Aronofsky.
Yeah, and you know, I wasn't impressed with this going into it. Like, I was all about the, like, hey, every time, yeah, go Giants. He hangs out with his mom on the phone. I'm like, yeah, go Giants. Me too. Right? That riled me up. That made me feel something every time. And then go Zoe Kravitz.
Main character.
Yeah. Go Zoe Kravitz as well. That made me feel something as well every time she came up on screen.
Not the same as your feelings for Austin Butler.
No. It was his acting was decent. He did a pretty good job in this movie. It's just all over the place. It's really all over the place. It's kind of Guy Ritchie-esque in that way. Like, you're just like, what is happening? Are we gonna get any kind of like real conclusion in here? They're throwing a lot at you. Closure, yeah. They're throwing a lot at you. The scene that I was just like, this is, come on, right? The Hasidic Jewish guys, right? Liev Schreiber and the other guy, they shoot up and bomb
Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yes,
it's Vincent D'Onofrio, like an amazing actor.
Yes.
The other guy.
They're just hanging again, right? Stacked cast. They're hanging out outside this nightclub that they just shot up and bombed, and they're very recognizable due to their outfits, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
they're
right
Orthodox
there. Go get
Jews. For the audience, they're Orthodox Jews, so you know what that looks like. If you don't, Google Orthodox Jew and you'll see.
Yeah, everything is just ridiculous. It's over the top, right? Everybody is a trope of like, oh, here's the metal punk guy, and he's got a mohawk, and he's dressed in head to toe in chains and leather and stuff. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's tropey. So I didn't care for this movie all that much. It was like well made, like shot and all of that. Like it was cool. It flowed, but it was just like, nah, it's white noise, and it was just kind of stupid. So I give it a popcorn. Yeah, I'm gonna give it popcorn, honestly. I wouldn't
Like you
recommend it to
said, I think
anybody.
this is the
Like, give
best
it.
Austin Butler movie to be made in a while.
Sure. Sure. Still.
That's
Not
what I
great.
think. It was better than
Yeah.
the what was it, Bike Riders that we
Oh, I
watched a
love
while
that
back?
movie. That was one of my top of
Ah,
last year. That really was. That was a
ah,
great movie.
ah.
I know you have hang up with tough guys and all of that. Like
Yeah.
that's one of your bugs.
Maybe he could reach that level for me someday. I mean, Chris Pratt's kind of that guy right now. Like, I'm looking for someone to fill the Stallone Arnold void. You know, The Rock. Even The Rock is like 55 years old. Like, we need younger action stars. Chris Evans doesn't even like doing action movies. So I need someone, man. Give me somebody. Tell me, Aaliyah, are you that somebody? Anyway,
Right.
uh, I'm sad you didn't like it as much as I did. I thought it was a fun movie. I really did. I was really entertained. I was glad I was in the theater for that one. I'm gonna rattle these off really quick, Jordan. Then we're gonna get to the last film you were watching. So if you've been following our show now for a while, you know
I
that
got
I'm on
two.
this journey before. Oh, okay. I'm gonna
Okay.
rattle off two, and then I'll rattle off two. Uh, I've been trying to get before Avengers Doomsday comes out all the Marvel universe all the way back up through Fantastic Four to include all the shows. So I'm in for it, and so are you. Okay, because I'm trying to get there. And if you ever have fun, go scroll down on Disney Plus to complete Marvel timeline because they've instituted these one shots in the complete Marvel timeline, and I had to go back and I rewatched these one shots, and even like the Eyes of Wakanda are on there. Haven't watched that yet. I'll get to it. I'm just too deep into where I was. But I did watch the one shots, and the one shots were so entertaining. Like they were so good. I was like, why didn't I start with the complete Marvel timeline instead of the MCU timeline? Like the complete MCU timeline is so good because you have like these in between movies. Like there's even one with the Mandarin where he's in jail and they're showing you what's happening to the Mandarin while he's in jail. And I was like, this is so dope. Like this is really cool. And it like fills in some gaps. So I was entertained by that. Like the Mandarin one gives you a little bit of context as to how we're gonna get to Shang-Chi. And I thought that was pretty cool because it's way early in the Marvel universe. And like, if you had watched this one shot, you would know, oh, they're heading here. And a lot of people didn't watch that and didn't know like that's where Marvel was about to go. I didn't until I rewatched this stuff. But anyway, Doctor Strange. Great movie, not the best. Popcorn and one. Benedict Cumberbatch is introduced as our new Sorcerer Supreme, or soon to be Sorcerer Supreme. And it was fine. Rachel McAdams, she's a goddess and she belongs in every film ever. And she's got a new one coming out that I'm sure we're going to see. It's going to be terrible about her trapped on an island. But anyway, I want her in the Doctor Stranges as long as she's willing to do it, right? She's obviously in Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. She's in this Doctor Strange as an excellent surgeon, a big part of this film. And she needed to be to give some levity to who Strange was. Like the jokes were funny and everything, but you need a character like Rachel McAdams' character in this film. So popcorn and one for Doctor Strange. If you rewatch it, you're not going to be disappointed. Thor Ragnarok, the best Thor in the Thor series is Thor Ragnarok. I defy you to defy me. All right? There is not a better
Yeah.
Thor out of all four movies than Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi
Yeah.
takes his first shot and puts together a cast of characters played by so many great actors and actresses, to include Tessa Thompson, introduced as Valkyrie. She's phenomenal in this. Obviously, if you've been keeping up, you know she's soon to be the leader of Asgard, and she earns it, and they set that up very well. Taika does an excellent job with the humor. Jeff Goldblum written in seamlessly. The Hulk, we rediscover Banner and where he's been throughout the last couple movies in this phase. Overall, it's a popcorn and two film for Thor Ragnarok. Funny, energetic, entertaining. We lose Anthony Hopkins as Odin in this film, and we kind of needed to. So, popcorn and two for Thor Ragnarok. Jordan, on to you, sir.
I watched Now You See Me, Now You Don't, to the threequel of the Now You See Me
Threequel.
franchise, and I don't know what they expect of the audience of this. Was like, do they think people are this diehard of fans? Like, I did see Now You See Me Part One a few times, and like
Yeah.
it's a cool idea, but it's very tired. Like, and I feel like they knew
Yeah.
that, but at the same time, they try to make you do the like, oh, I remember this relationship between this character and this guy. And there's a lot of like double, like this guy's playing both sides. Like if you remember part one or part two, like Mark Ruffalo kind of playing both sides, Morgan Freeman kind of playing both sides. Like there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to keep up with all of this going on, especially when you add three new characters, right? You're adding three new
Yeah.
characters to this already complicated, convoluted web of relationships. You get an Andrew Santino cameo in the beginning.
Okay.
Rosamund Pike plays the baddie, the bad in this movie,
The big bad.
and she is supposed to be South
She's a
African.
baddie. You're fine.
Yeah, she's supposed to be South African because the whole theme of this one is like blood diamonds and all of that.
Okay.
And she has a South African accent, and it is it almost so good that it's bad? It's bad. It's just like it really throws you off anytime she talks.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a magic off, right? Because of course they do.
Magic off, like a
A
rip
magic-
off in Pitch Perfect.
Exactly. Yes, they do that between like, oh, the young people, we've got the pizzazz, and oh, but the old people, they've got the wisdom
yeah.
and the experience. It's ridiculous. The Holdovers guy, right? The young gawky main guy from Holdovers, who's really
Yeah.
he's emerging. He's emerging.
Dominic.
Right?
Dominic something.
Something. Yeah, he's emerging. He's kind of everywhere, I feel like now all of a sudden.
You just reviewed Drink Link. You just reviewed a movie
Yeah.
with him last week, I want to say.
Yeah. He's good, right? Except his character, come on, he just hops into like an F1 Indy car or whatever those F1 cars are called, and he just like can drive
Yeah.
it. Like he's just spinning it out and like, come on, this thing doesn't
Yeah.
even have it just has buttons on it. Like, no way. There's always a decent twist on these movies. Like, it's to be expected. That's kind of what you're waiting for, is the twist, like a la like Saw, right? The Saw series is there's always that like, oh, this unraveling and showing you like, oh, this is how they did it and this is who's that and blah 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 blah, right? That's always pretty cool to see, like revealing the magician's secret. Okay, although
big
it's
reveal.
unbelievable because it's a movie. Yeah, the big reveal.
Kind of like Josh was
but-
saying earlier with like the Knives Out. It's just fun to see how we got here. Like how did we
Yeah.
get here?
And so they do leave it open for another Now You See Me, Now You Don't, but do you really? I don't know. Do you see me? I don't know. Do you see me? Right? They're going to probably get a fourth sequel eventually. So, woohoo. Can't wait for that. This was a popcorn and one. Popcorn? No, popcorn. Popcorn.
All right, I'm going to leave one off from my Marvel. We'll save that for next week, audience. But I
Okay.
did also watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because they are the ones that catch Thor's body in Avengers Infinity War. So we got to Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with a teenage Groot and Kurt Russell playing Ego, and the death of Mary Poppins / Yondu. It was a lot. Sylvester Stallone enters as a Ravager, and we get the Ravager funeral, very emotional at the end. This is the worst of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, but it is still fun. It is still entertaining. Still has a fantastic soundtrack. Still made boatloads of money. Still fantastic graphics. We get introduced to oncoming Adam Warlock. We're going to give this one a popcorn and one as well. Ant-Man and Wasp. Again, the worst Ant-Man. No, second worst, because Quantumania happened. But Ant-Man and Wasp, but we get introduced to one of the Thunderbolts, don't we? We get a Thunderbolt in this, in Ghost. So, Ant-Man and Wasp, though fun, though plucky with Paul Rudd. How could it not be plucky with Paul Rudd? We're going to give this one a popcorn. Not one of the best Marvel films, not one of the worst, but there's not a lot you can do once you've gotten rid of one of the best villains in the Wasp, and we're left with just Ant-Man. But we do get, pardon me, the Yellow Jacket, not the Wasp. Sorry. When you get rid of the Yellow Jacket, we have the Wasp in Evangeline Lilly, and she's back, and she's ready for Avengers Doomsday. Shout out to her. I'm glad she's healthy. I know we have our reservations for certain beliefs, but at the end of the day, she don't hurt people. So let's go ahead and say welcome back to Avengers Doomsday, Evangeline Lilly, but it's still a popcorn movie. Jordan, what is your last film of this week?
Last film, I watched the 1984 NeverEnding Story. Okay.
Yeah.
I was in the mood for something cute, something kind of old, something very simple. And this kind of did it. It's great nostalgia here because they start the movie with the little boy. What's his name? His name is Bastian, right? The main character's name is Bastian, and he's doing this, which I did as a kid, right? The quadruple finger cross thing, and you're just like, whoa, how did I do that? Okay, that was cool.
Testing your flexibility.
Yeah, you get a hella young Deep Roy. Now, if you don't know who Deep Roy is, okay, he plays the Oompa Loompas in the Johnny Depp Wonka, Willy Wonka movie, and he's also in Eastbound and Down as the adversary of what's his name in that show? Kenny Powers, right?
Yes.
In Mexico, right? The guy that keeps robbing him and stuff. He's hilarious. I love him. And I was like, there's no way that's him. He's really, really young. You get Atreyu, the hero kid of the story, of the actual NeverEnding Story. A little problematic.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be like native. He's dressed like a Native American, but he's just like a very white kid.
Yeah.
I felt it was like an odd choice. It's very nightmarish. 80s. Yeah, it's very nightmarish. It's kind of Pan's Labyrinth, kind of Jim Henson-y. It's not a Jim Henson film, though. I kind of thought it was. And the last note, flying on Falkor, right? Falkor is the big white dragon, fluffy dragon thing. And it looks so bad. It looks so bad. A lot of times it's just like clearly like a picture screen, and then they just got like one of those things that they're like flipping around, right? Yes. And it looks really, really stupid and bad, right? But overall, it kind of holds up. The story is nonsense. The story makes absolutely no sense. But like visually, like the camera shots and like the coloring, I don't know if I watched a remastered version. Maybe that's what it was. But it didn't look grainy or anything like that. Like I was like, wow, this kind of looks clean. Polished. Yeah, like this looks really polished. Okay. So NeverEnding Story, I give it popcorn. This was This was not good. I did not like it.
It's a classic killer. I always think of the NeverEnding Story 2 line where the girl's like, what credit cards did your parents get you? And she's like, all of them. Like I always think of that line like forever from the NeverEnding Story Part 2. Yeah, there's a 3.
Ew.
There's 3 of them.
God, the 80s.
All right, Jordan, before we do the butter on top and the drunk classic for this week, it's your drunk classic, by the way. We got to give our picks. So I'll lead us off. My top pick for drunk classic, you would think it would be The Usual Suspects, which is one of the better movies, right? Because we can't pick our own. We can't pick something that we said. We recommended, we threw out as a drunk classic. So instead, Jordan, you picked one of the movies that I would have picked, and that was No Escape. We're going to go with No Escape with Owen Wilson and Pierce Brosnan.
2 for 2.
So Jordan, you got 66% of the drunk classics. You also, if we're going to be fair, you also threw out the most clunkers. But
I did. Yeah, sure. I'm proud of that.
But No Escape will be mine. What do you have as your best drunk classic of last year?
My best drunk classic that I did not choose, that I had not really seen before, is also kind of like something I wanted to categorize it with, right? Something that really moved it for me, that was interesting, very different, was Moon.
Moon. Oh, I got one.
Yeah, you got one. Yeah. Moon was a trippy movie a la Sam Rockwell. Yeah.
Show regular. Ping pong with himself.
Yeah. That's great. Peak Sam Rockwell.
All right, nice. So what do you have as your top 3 movies of last year? There's so many. I was going through this, and it's so hard for me to pick just 3 because I was like, oh, there was actually some really good. Hey, Quentin Tarantino, fuck off. for the third time saying that this is like the worst era for movies. Because I was going through this year, I was like, there was actually some really good movies this year that were entertaining, that were deep, and I was like, there's some stuff left on the cutting room floor because we only do a top 3 on popcorn and beers. So I hate that I had to choose, but I had to choose. So Jordan, what did you choose?
Look, it's pretty no brainer that like Sinners and One Battle After Another were like the best movies made this year. Like they're either one of those two is gonna win Best Picture, and I totally get it. So I'm gonna get step away from those. Of course, those are up there. Those are in that mix. But I'm gonna say F1 with Brad Pitt was an experience. That was
different. That's different.
That was a theater experience right there. That was cool. Of course, I'm going to go with, honestly, my favorite movie of the year was The Long Walk. I liked that story, the concept, all of it. It was great. It was great. And then last but not least, I really liked the new Karate Kid. That one really surprised me. Being a reprisal of this franchise that has been beat to death at this point. I was so entertained. Like I just was. I really enjoyed it. I walked away in a really good mood after watching this movie.
Okay, fair enough. Fair. You went in a different direction than I was prepared for you to go in. There, Long Walk is also in my top 3. Because you kind of threw a dagger at me just now, where it's like, let's not pick Sinners and let's not pick One Battle After Another. Those are obviously great and the most fantastic movies. And I was like, do I have to dig deeper into what I was going to say? Because Sinners and One Battle After Another was absolutely on there, and so was The Long Walk. The Long Walk, I'm not taking out. The Long Walk was a really, really, really great movie. So I'm trying to think here now through Butter on Tops, and after The Long Walk, I would say, for me, if we're gonna eliminate some things, oh goodness gracious, Jordan, why'd you do that? Bugonia?
Bugonia, okay.
Bugonia was good. Not my favorite movie of the year. You know what they are now that I've already thrown them out there. But Bugonia was really good. I thought that was a fantastic film that most people should check out. I had reservations about the ending. The ending was not my favorite, and Yorgos is always very heavy-handed
I am Yorgos.
in his endings, and I think that's what did that for me. Was I was like, oh, the ending was so heavy-handed, and it wasn't up there with some of the other films I saw. We obviously have not gotten a chance to go see Marty Supreme yet, so I don't know. That one might be up there for me. I loved Sentimental Value, as most people know that watch the show. I thought that was fantastic, but like let's go off the board here. Weapons,
yeah, okay.
Let's say Fair. Weapons was one of the better films this year.
I made a mistake. So, I would probably chop Karate Kid and say that Tron Ares was better. Tron Ares, I was very surprised.
Good for you. I don't think you're alone on that island.
I watched it in 3D. It was just a cinematic experience. Like I watched it like that was freaking cool. Like I walked out of it like that was money well spent. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't join you on Tron Ares Island. But yeah, so since I agree with you. Yeah, One Battle After Another, Sinners, probably the 2 best films of the year. Long Walk for me was phenomenal, as it was for you. Josh needs to get to the theater or rent that, because that movie is very, very good. So again, we'll fill in those gaps with, like I said, when I say Weapons, and what was the other one I threw out there just a second ago? I have to have it in front of me. Thank you, Bugonia. If we're not allowed to pick those top 2. So Bugonia, Weapons, and The Long Walk. The Long Walk was great, and The Long Walk is not getting enough recognition for ensemble cast, direction, writing, score. So it's unfortunate. That happens sometimes. The Academy can be some snobs.
It's gonna hold up though. It's like gonna be a cult film, and it's gonna hold up for sure.
I think so. What is your drunk classic?
My drunk classic. So I'm sticking with winter, right? I'm sticking with winter-based themed films. I'm going Nickelodeon. I'm going whimsical. Okay, I'm going with Snow Day.
Okay. Hoku.
Snow day.
It's the
Yep.
perfect day.
Yep. Snow day.
All right, Snow Day. This came out when I was in sixth grade, I want to say. Seventh grade, sixth grade, somewhere around there. So it was right in the time where you would really enjoy this, and right in the time where it wasn't cool enough for me to enjoy. So we'll rewatch Snow Day. You will revisit Hoku. I'm probably going to miss you guys next week. I'm going to be in Romania next week. I'm going to do my best to get some stuff on wax for Josh to cut up. But I think it's Bone Temple, right? It's got to be
Bone
28 days
Temple.
later, Bone Temple.
28
This week.
years later, Bone Temple.
28, yeah, sorry. 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 years later, 28 years later, Bone Temple.
Bone Temple. Right.
I think so, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so that is it. We hope to see you at the movie theater. As always, you get the popcorn, we got the beer. Happy New Year.